Man, the bad news keeps on coming from Microsoft. We did a video yesterday talking about Windows 11 having a very poor reception, to put it mildly, with a lot of PC users. And now it's turning out that Xbox had its worst year ever. It's not looking good. We've talked about console sales this year being very, very lackluster, but the Xbox in particular has been a massive failure. And I can't imagine why. It's like it's basically a budget cut gaming PC. They don't have any exclusives really. They keep telling people that everything's an Xbox now, so why the hell should you buy one? And it really does feel like this could be the last generation of Xbox as a console. Now, I think the Xbox brand will live on, but yeah, they're definitely on borrowed time. And I cannot believe they had 2 price hikes this year. Right? Historically, gaming consoles, now I understand the RAM situation and the tariffs and all that, right? I get that. But historically, when gaming consoles are starting to look a little long in the tooth when they're like 5 years old, it used to be 3 years old before, when they were like 3 or 4 years old, they would drop the price on the console, right? And they've had like 2 price hikes this year. It's crazy. So we're going to talk about this, and then we're going to talk about, where they go from here and just some of the competition. I mean, this is crazy. The next Playground, which is basically a Kinect. Remember the Kinect? That was the thing that Xbox used to do back in the aughts. And our kids had one. They had a lot of fun with it back in the day. But this thing beat the Xbox this year. This goofy little box that you can do dances and Fruit Ninja and all that stuff in your living room with your kids. That beat the Xbox. So, they should have stuck with the Kinect. Let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. 2 versions of the same article. We got Push Square and Pure Xbox. They're both owned by the same company. So I'll go with the PlayStation version because they're kind of rubbing it in Xbox's faces at this point. I'm not hearing much from Xbox stands. Remember all the Xbox stands? You were not allowed to criticize the Xbox as a console at all. I remember when Starfield came out, you were not allowed to criticize Starfield or the Xbox. It was the greatest console ever. And those people have basically shut up at this point because everybody knows it's over. Xbox sales hit new low in UK. Barely competes with the PlayStation 5 at this point. They said another one bites the dust. So Xbox hardware sales have hit a new low in the UK as Microsoft continues to redirect its console business. Shut down. The word you're looking for is shut down. In 2025, Xbox Series numbers were down 39%, making for the worst sales result in the brand's history. Many had expected some sort of decline given the company's renewed focus on multi-platform publishing, but we're not sure that many would have predicted such a substantial collapse to happen so quickly. And just think the UK used to be something of an Xbox stronghold back in the 360 days, a competitive market where Sony had to fight for any kind of momentum. Actually, the Xbox 360 was a great console. That was the last Xbox I ever owned. We had the original and then we had the 360, and I loved the 360. I think I actually preferred the 360 to the Wii. We had both at the time, and I love my 360. We still have it. It's in the closet somewhere, but it was a great console. And that was it. That was the end of Xbox. After 360, it was over. We're now at a point where the Xbox Series is barely competing with the PS5 in terms of raw UK sales numbers. Now, this is UK only, but this is all over the place, right? Empty shelves. Like, they're just not stocking shelves. We've covered that before. And we're going to talk about IGN, that their unit sales are down again here in the US. So it's bad all over. It's not just like, well, it's just in the UK. So no, it's bad. It's bad. Microsoft has been distancing itself from hardware sales for years now. The suits will tell you it's not really trying to compete with PlayStation in that sense, especially as Xbox itself continues to bring its once exclusive properties, including Halo, to Sony's platform. Times have certainly changed, but sales figures as dismal as these do raise questions about Microsoft's priorities as we head toward the next console generation. They don't give a shit, guys. They don't give a shit. I'm telling you, I think it's over. And, they're saying, oh, we're working on a new console. Oh, no, we're going to push that console back because of RAM prices. I'm like, no, we're going to push it back until we really think about it and decide if we want to be in the console and the hardware business. People were bringing up in the comments on one of these articles, making the comparison to the Dreamcast, which was Sega's swan song. And the Dreamcast was a damn fine system. In fact, My wife and kids bought me one, a very minty Dreamcast. I haven't had one in years. They bought me one for Christmas, and I forgot how good this console was. I forgot how good it was. I was like, yeah, Dreamcast was really good. It was a really good machine, but nobody bought it. Right? They just didn't buy it. I mean, it's got a very dedicated fan base. They just shut the web browser down. Did you know that? After 25 years, they just shut the web browser down. People are still playing Phantasy Star Online 25 years later. It was a damn good machine, but it just didn't sell. It didn't sell, right? They said, yeah, times have changed, but sales figures as dismal as these do raise questions about Microsoft's priorities as we head toward the next generation. Company has stated intends to release a new Xbox in the coming years, but what could that actually look like if there's a near total lack of demand? Well, you answered the question. What do you make of Xbox's current trajectory? Yeah, this person here, Andy Matter, says Xbox will be going Dreamcast route. It'll be something of like the melting of the Wicked Witch of the West. Dog Breath here says, it's clear to me that Microsoft wants the Xbox hardware side of things to die naturally and quietly in its sleep. They don't want to be seen as the killer and get a rep like Sega, having let down the loyal fans, etc. Yeah, because the Dreamcast was good. If the Dreamcast was ass, if it was a terrible console, if it was like the 32X or something, like nobody would care. But it wasn't, right? It was really good. And they're like, what happened? It's like, well, yada, 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 money, market share, people pick the PlayStation. I mean, it is what it is, right? They want to just gradually fizzle out with no one noticing. My prediction is there won't be another Xbox console. I agree 100%. I've been saying this. If there is, it's going to be Xbox branded, but it's not going to be an actual Microsoft produced console. It'll be another, portable or something. Or here's a mini PC branded as an Xbox, because Xbox everywhere, guys. That's what they're going for. Next console that has been mentioned on and off will likely be similar to the handheld. Yep, it's just a third-party Steam box, because that's what they are now. A storefront with streaming access. They won't say it, but I think Microsoft would be quite happy with a lot of XSS owners jumping ship, buying PS5 Pros, and buying Xbox games on those for the remainder of the generation. Master Chief Wiggum says, a shame because Sony needs competition in the marketplace. They have Nintendo. I would consider Nintendo competitors. I don't know. You have to ask Sony. I think they do. But I think Nintendo sort of bridges the gap between game console and toy. I think they're in a different space. I think Sony basically took over the space that Sega used to occupy, which is more hardcore games for an older audience. And that's where Sony kind of is right now. I think they will release the next Xbox with the rumored Steam integration, but will be pricey and end up selling poorly, with Microsoft eventually announcing their exit from the console market. I don't know if they will announce it. I'm with that other guy. I think they might just say, hey, we're not doing this anymore. Or, hey, we're not going to announce another console. Or macroeconomic circumstances, tariffs and RAM prices and yada, yada, yada. So I don't know if it's true anymore. Switch 2 can comfortably run many third-party titles, and Sony will likely be venturing into hybrid consoles next generation. Seems like they're directly competing. Yeah, end of an era. Coleco and Television, Commodore, Sega, and Microsoft. Actually, I know it's been a long time, but people laughed when Microsoft announced a gaming console. They're like, isn't that just a PC? I remember, and people were very skeptical. I was very skeptical. I'm like, God, Microsoft ruins everything they touch. I don't want them touching the game console too. And it took off, and that's mostly because of Halo, I think. I mean, and I think they have Halo to thank for, a lot of the early adoption. It was a killer app, and we just don't have games like that anymore. No, Starfield is not. Starfield is not Halo. It's nowhere near Halo. Halo's not even Halo. I don't know what the hell Halo is. Actually, going back to, I talked in another video about Helldivers. I'm like, Helldivers feels the most, I guess the excitement around Helldivers and Arc Raiders and those games, it feels more like the excitement around Halo back in the day. But yeah, it's Halo's toes too. Microsoft haven't been competition since the late 360 days. Yep. Nintendo are competition. This person says, I regret the fact that the Xbox consoles are dying out, but I don't think PlayStation is without competition. No, they got the next Playground. That's their competition right here. right? Now, let's take a look at the U.S. numbers, because apparently it's not good here in the U.S. either. So they said this morning we learned that November was a surprisingly bad month for video game spending. And then this is Circana. We talked about this before. It said, according to Circana's senior director, Matt Piscatella, the Xbox Series console dollar shares were down 70% year over year. That's a huge drop. Other consoles were also down, with PS5 down 40% and Switch 2 down 10%. People just aren't buying new consoles, right? I think we've hit peak console. But they said the Xbox number is rather astounding. In fact, it's an all-time low for Xbox console unit sales in November in the US. Admittedly, Xbox has some factors working against it, as we've already laid out. It's a really bad month for hardware sales across the board. Yeah, but there's a difference between being down 10% and being down 70%. I mean, there's got to be somebody at Microsoft who is just like, you know what? It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. Let's not even make nobody's buying this shit. And then the RAM's going up, and every time we raise the price, we lose people. It's like, what are you doing? They said for 2025, the Xbox is very expensive, especially in the US. Piscatella points out that the average price per unit rose by over 30% year over year. You're going backwards. Old consoles are supposed to go down in price, right? You're supposed to go the other way, dumbass. That's because of multiple price hikes in recent years, including some seriously massive ones in September that impacted all types of Xbox Series consoles, raising prices from as low as $20 for Series S to as much as $70 for Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition. The Xbox is really convoluted, right? It's like the Xbox spam and Xbox, spam X and spam Xbox, the Series this, the Series, just like, I remember when we had just an Xbox. Remember just the Xbox? That's what it was. Now we got like several different flavors. It's really confusing. I even think the PlayStation 5 is kind of confusing. Like, oh yeah, we got the standard with the disc, and then we got the Pro, and then we got the digital only, and just make the damn box. It's all the same. What's the point of buying a console if they got like different variations of it, right? It's like, it's the same thing on the inside. It's just this one comes in white, and this one comes in red, and this one comes in blue. You can just pick your color. Isn't that the easier path to take? I don't know. But there we go, guys. It's looking bad. I think we're done. I think Xbox is over. I really do. I'd be shocked if they announced another console. I'm not saying it can't happen or won't happen. I'm just saying it's very unlikely given these horrible numbers. So that's another huge L for Microsoft this year. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.